It's week 10 of my gluten-free baking series, and this week I'm making a batch of floral biscuits that carry the perfect taste of summer. Hi everyone, Brittany here with the latest installment of the series in which I bake through every recipe mentioned in my cozy magical realism novel, A Daisy in Lily's Valley, while chatting about the story. This week I'll be referencing two chapters of the story, as one of them has no actual baked good mentioned in it, only an allusion to following a trail of breadcrumbs to a puzzle fitting itself together in the main character's mind. To start on these Midsummer biscuits, or cookies as we like to call them in the States, I had to pull out all of my gluten-free flours and create Emiliana's pastry flour blend number 5, which is a recipe I developed and share at the back of the book. Why is it called flour blend number 5? Well, because it took me 5 attempts to get this blend just right. It's a perfect gluten-free flour for pastries, hence the name, but isn't good for baking breads as it can't really develop a strong structure to hold up the weight of most bread doughs. It's too delicate, which is exactly why it's perfect for pastries. With my gluten-free flour all blended up, it's time to dive into creating these delectable biscuits, the recipe for which is also included in the book. I personally love a mix of sweet and savory, so for this melt-in-your-mouth butter cookie, I chose to infuse fresh herbs from the garden into a nutty browned butter. Ugh, it combines two of my favorite things. The only herb I was missing was basil, but honestly, this recipe works well with a blend of any of your favorite herbs, so feel free to experiment. After allowing the herbs to infuse in the brown butter and cool to a softened state, I whipped it all up and added coconut sugar, another slight variation from the original recipe. Halfway through, Arlen and I had a laugh about something he'd said that got caught on video the week prior. I love moments like that, when two people share the same humor and develop a sort of shorthand together, where with just one look or uttered phrase can send you both into uncontrollable laughter, which is sort of what we see playing out across these two chapters. Emiliana is finally meeting her neighbor in person for the first time, but it's not as if they're total strangers. They've shared so much of their lives with one another through handwritten letters, baked goods, and tea concoctions. They've already laid a foundation for their friendship, which explains why they're able to so easily slip into that sense of sharing their own unwritten language. This idea of friendship and found family is something I knew I really wanted to explore when I set out to write this novel, and even though my characters wound up taking the story in directions I couldn't have ever foreseen, the through line of deep love and respect they each have for the friendships they've cultivated rang out so beautifully throughout the narrative. It reminds me of how grateful I am for the close friendships I've cultivated in my own life and the inside jokes we shared that only come after so much time spent together. Thanks for sticking around for another episode of my Bake With Me series. I had a blast making these edible pressed flour herbal biscuits. They really do remind me of a brilliant summer's day.